So what we're talking about here is something that is occurring around the world that has never occurred before. Okay, what I'm going to share is nothing short of a phenomena, and the definition of a phenomena is the following. It's an unusual, significant, and remarkable occurrence. But what you're about to discover in the next few minutes is not only a remarkable occurrence, but a truly monumental one. Now, why is that? Because it's something that has never happened before. It's the converging of two massive industries that has created a third industry, which is now the world's fastest growing. So let's start with the two massive industries that are converging. Number one is the mobile phone industry, and the second one is the advertising industry. So let's talk about the massive mobile phone industry. But what I want to do is put everything into global context first to give you a global perspective of how mobile phones compares to everything else in our lives. So we are 7 billion people on the planet, and here's what we call ours. We have 1 billion cars registered in the US and 1.1 billion fixed landline phones, 1.2 billion personal computers, including desktops, laptops, and tablets, 1.6 billion television sets, 1.7 billion credit card users, 2.1 billion internet users, and 2.2 billion people with bank accounts. And most people are somewhat surprised to hear that there's still 3.9 billion radio receivers in use around the world today. Okay, so mobile phones literally dwarfs them all. Hang on one second. We're talking mobile phones literally dwarfs them all. They're currently 6.58 billion active subscribers, 5 times more mobile phones than computers, 4 times more mobile phones than all the televisions worldwide, 4 times more mobile phones than people with credit cards. And mobile is so massive, guys, that it passed $1 trillion a year back in 2010 and is now approaching 2 trillion. So that's just completely unheard of. So let's move on to the second industry, which is another monster, and we call that the advertising industry. I'm sure everybody on this call tonight is very familiar with that. Advertising started in the old days on the radio, then it shifted to TV, and all the eyes were glued to the tube. Then it exploded onto the internet, and all the eyes followed. And first it started on the desktops, then it went to the laptops, and now mobile phones. So today, the majority of us spend most of our time using mobile phones for the internet, right in the palm of our hands. That's where all the eyeballs are today. So the $1.7 trillion advertising industry is rocketing directly towards the nearly $2 trillion mobile phone industry. Why? Simple answer, because the average person looks at their mobile phone 150 times a day. That includes you and me and everybody on this call. We're always looking down. We are experiencing this every day. We know it to be true for our own personal lives. So that's where all the eyeballs are today. And so pay attention to this one sentence here, because it's going to play major effect in what's actually going to happen here the rest of the presentation. These two colossal industries are on a head-on collision course, and nothing's going to stop this from happening. Now, mobile apps are the key, the bridge and the gateway that connects these two giants, the mobile phone and the advertising industry. Okay? $2 trillion mobile phone industry and $1.7 trillion advertising industry connecting together with the mobile phone. So we measure the growth of the app industry not by subscribers, but by downloads. So in 2010, even when Apple was shocked when 10 billion apps were downloaded in the first year, and 2 years later in 2012, 30 billion apps were downloaded, and some experts were wondering if it actually peaked, but it had not. Last year, in 2013, it reached 73 billion downloads, and this year it will reach 119. And in about 18 months, get ready for this, 300 billion apps will be downloaded. That's 800 million apps per day, more than 500,000 per second. So it's going to grow from 10 billion downloads 4 years ago to 300 billion downloads in the next year and a half. That's 30 times growth. It's literally insane. So it's absolutely massive. Now, folks, you don't have to be a CEO to understand those numbers. So where do you and I fit into this grand design? Well, let's start off by asking a couple of simple questions. Is it fair to say that any and all businesses would like to generate more sales from their existing customers and acquire new customers in order to generate more revenue? Well, of course they would, because more sales equals more profit, right? So the question becomes, how do business owners generate more sales and get new customers? Okay, well, they simply just need to advertise more. It's plain and simple. But the challenge is the majority of businesses simply cannot afford to advertise more. It's just not in their budget. Okay, so we've pretty much defined the desires and the challenges for the majority of business owners in today's global economy. They want to acquire new customers, and they basically cannot afford to advertise more. So let's move on to the next part of the storyline. Do you believe that the majority of consumers are interested in saving as much money as they possibly can? And the answer to this is an obvious yes. So how do we know this to be true? Well, let's take a look at the exploding coupon savings programs that popped up over the last several years and happen to be helping lots of people save lots and lots of their hard-earned money. Companies like Living Social, Groupon, Foursquare, Retail Me Not, they're just massive. And what's happening is all the eyeballs are on the phones today, right? So we've established that merchants want to generate more sales from their existing customers. That's obvious. They want to acquire new customers. They cannot afford to advertise more, and people love saving money. So these are the 4 major points. So remember, all the eyeballs are on the phone, looking 150 times a day. So get ready, because I'm going to tie all this together for you right now. Now, introducing BizBiz.movie. And over the last 2 years, we've developed the first advertising, communication, and proximity mobile app of its kind anywhere in the world. Now, UBiz is a mobile app that provides solutions for the consumers and those small, medium, and larger businesses that are owned by our family and friends and that happen to represent 90% of the global economy. UBiz becomes the gateway for 90% of commerce worldwide and will grow virally with tens of millions of free members worldwide. So how is this possible? Because it does 3 great things to start. Number 1, it helps people save money, just like we talked about with the other apps, Groupon, Living Social, Foursquare, etc. But here's what makes UBiz really unique is the next 2 features. It empowers your favorite merchants locally to communicate with you wherever you are in the world. Okay, this is very, very powerful. They're able to get around the spam filters, the email inboxes. They can literally invite you to this application, and 100% of the time they're going to get through to you with their specials, and you get to save money, and it keeps the economy going, which is exactly what is so cool about this. But using the highly sophisticated geo-targeting proximity technology, it creates brand new customers for the merchants by connecting them with all the free UBiz members traveling in their area. So here's what happens. When anyone that has the UBiz app travels within a 6.2-mile radius of the merchant, they're going to get pinged, just like you do on Facebook when you get a notification, same concept. But you get pinged with discounts, specials, offers, promos, photos, or whatever the merchant is advertising at the time. Okay? And this example allows the merchant to target a whole new group of customers in their area, and no one else offers this functionality. Take a look at this Boston Pizza. They're running a 2-for-1 special from 11 to 1 p.m. today. They post the ad onto their UBiz platform. It goes to the people walking in the radius or driving in the radius, and then they get pinged on their UBiz application. Notice the application here. Those are the people in the mile radius. They put their ad. So if you're looking at this, this is a Starbucks ad, for example. This could be the pizza ad, you know, come in for a 2-for-1 special. And so all these new people are going to see this. You know, maybe the half of them are hungry and they want pizza, right? So now this Boston's Pizza is happy. They got brand new customers. The new consumers are happy because they got to enjoy some good pizza and they didn't even know the special was going on. This is simply powerful. Please understand how powerful this is. Okay, so we've basically shown you the main 3 features, but there's many other things that we do. First of all, let's just cover that real quickly. It's a free download for members. It's GPS and proximity technology. We did talk about that. All the events happen in real time, and it allows them to share information, make recommendations, and invite their friends to share the collective experience live. Permanent visibility for all the merchants' promotions, visible to all the members, that's including you and I, that have the application, and it happens at all times. Let's look down here at the third point, because we talked about proximity and geographical coverage. But advertising real time instantly publishes advertising campaigns with your specials, discounts, and promotions. And they can schedule it on an hourly, daily, or weekly basis. Very powerful. Contact feature is humongous, and here's why. You get to communicate with an unlimited number of your existing customers, and this happens by adding them to your circle on your UBiz app, wherever they are in the world. Get their attention without the hurdles of the spam filters or promotional folders that email campaigns have to contend with. So guys, think about this. It's 100% delivery rate from the merchant to you. You're going to get the advertisement. You're going to save the money. And they're going to be able to advertise to anybody in a 6.5 mile radius that doesn't know about them. This is absolutely huge. Okay. And it's the best form of advertising in the world because it's where all the eyeballs are looking. Okay. This is revolutionary. Okay, targeted marketing allows them to area specific their advertisements, and members are going to receive the unique ads, resulting in attracting an entirely new local market. So what does this state-of-the-art application cost the merchant who would otherwise need to have a 6-figure advertising budget? $30, not per day, not per week, and not even per year. Okay? It's $30 per year as in 8 cents a day, which is absolutely unheard of, which also makes UBiz the most cost-effective form of advertising in the history of the $1.7 trillion advertising industry. Again, for only 8 pennies a day. So folks, when you have a service that millions and millions and millions of people worldwide will demand and already are demanding now, and they use it every day, then you have positioned yourself in the right place at the perfect time to take advantage of that $1 trillion shift of wealth. Don't miss out on this next huge paradigm, the blending of these mega industries, mobile phones, advertising, and mobile apps. Now, I believe it's important for you guys to understand that we are in the absolute beginning stage of something very special here, which leads us to a very critical point for you. Timing and positioning is critical. Timing and positioning has played a major part in many successful people's lives, including the lives of many millionaires and even billionaires. Okay, so we are actually wanting you to recognize that this is a huge play for you. Now, as we are in our pre-launch phase, which is the timeline before we actually go live and launch BizBiz.mobi into 123 countries around the world in December of 2014. Yes, my friends, I said 123 countries. How many times we've been involved with something and we were just begging the company to open up in a country that we had the most influence in? We're already going to be live in most of the countries around the globe, and it's happening right now. The best part is you have the rare, unique opportunity to be one of the first members to join and secure your financial position right now in the BizBiz.mobi corporate structure. Now, I want to encourage you to get back to the person right now who invited you to this webinar presentation and find out how simple it is to lock down your position, to discover the 7 ways to earn income in our awesome compensation dual team structure, the mega matching bonuses, super center bonus, and our global revenue sharing bonus pools. We're talking about 7 generous ways to earn incomes, my friends, and it's simply the best available anywhere in the market today. And guess what? It doesn't break the bank. You guys realize 123 countries, the company set a very fair entry point for everybody. Okay, $145 gets you in the company one time, and you're paying a $35 monthly recurring order that gets you more of the bonus codes that you can hook up other people on the application. It's incredible. Now, last, get your BizBiz.mobi business off to a fast start by going to mobiappglobal.com. And we have a system coming out that's going to help you. We have great training. All you got to do, guys and gals, is plug your people into these nightly webinars, and we will bring them in the business. Just like you're watching the presentation right now, and you're getting excited. When you bring people to this, they're going to hear the same message that got you excited, and they're going to want to enroll. And guess what? They're going to enroll with you in this mega, mega, mega phenomenon we call the global phenomenon. It's happening right now. It's the biggest thing we've ever seen. Why?